morning, everybody. Since the last video I made was a more movie-related video, and this is originally a book channel, I'm going to do a book-related video now. And that will be the what is it called? Books Under the Tree tag. I don't, as usual, surprise, surprise, I don't know who created the tag, but I will look for them. Actually, I want to say it's Game of Tomes was the one who created the channel that created the tag, but I'm not 100% sure. But I will look for it and I will post the link in the box below. Okay, so question number 1. What book would you like to see under the tree? There are actually 3 or 4 books that I would like to see under the tree, but I'm only going to say one, and that is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Of course, I still have not read the 4th book, Queen of Shadows, yet. So I need to continue that one, and then I need to read Empire of Storms, and then I can read Tower of Dawn. Although, I think Tower of Dawn is it's around the same time as Empire of Storms. So I could potentially do what they recommend you do with the 4th and 5th book of the Game of Song of Ice and Fire series, where the events take place at the same time, but you can read them at the same time and alternate. Although that might be a little too much trouble. I don't know. But I am not very patient, and I am a huge Scale fan, so I definitely want to read Tower of Dawn. So that is one of the books I'm hoping to see under the tree. Okay, question number 2. What's the best book you've ever received? Now, this is a hard one because, I receive the books I ask for. I mean, not that they're not special. I'm not excited and they're not, awesome gifts and they're, the best books ever. But it's weird for me. I feel weird answering this question because I usually know what I'm gonna get under the tree or what I'm hoping to get. I have an idea. But I was thinking about this book I got last year. Let me go get it. Oh, it's over here. I like those Barnes & Noble hardback editions that have the really fancy covers that look kind of like old-fashioned books. So I asked for this copy of Wizard of Oz, which is a bind-up of the first 5 tales he wrote. I believe there are 7 stories in this whole series. Not just The Wizard of Oz, but there's The Marvelous Land of Oz, Ozma of Oz, Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz, and The Road to Oz. Yes, he wrote more than just The Wizard of Oz. He wrote several books about the Land of Oz and all the different beings that exist there. And this is, like I said, this is a bind-up of the first 5 books. I thought it was really beautiful, and there's another one like this for the next several stories in the, it says on there the first 5 novels. And then there's another one that also has the other novels in it. That's very much like this. I didn't put it on my list. I should have, but maybe I can ask for it for my birthday or something. I feel bad though because I started reading this. I started reading the 2nd story, The Marvelous Land of Oz, but I haven't continued it in a year. Well, a little less than a year, but still, it's been a long time. So I need to read it. Let's see, what's really cool is this. It has the pages that are colored, kind of like the Six of Crows duology books. I think a lot of publishing companies are now doing that, where they print out editions with colored pages, and really nice covers. I really like this cover. I love how the title's all shiny and stuff, if you can tell. And this has the original sketches, the original drawings in it of the characters. And Wizard of Oz has just always been part of my life. Even though it wasn't until years later that I actually read the book. But I've seen the movie several times. I think I have a special edition of the movie. And my dad at our local community theater, not where we live now, but where we used to live, he was cast as the wizard in the stage production of Wizard of Oz. Which was kind of a funny story because it was done accidentally. My sister was auditioning. Unfortunately, she did not get a part, but my dad did. And my dad was just going there for moral support, but I guess he had decided to audition too, just to help her, to provide more moral support, and surprisingly, he got a part. He got the part of the wizard. So that was... But there's no hard feelings, of course, from my sister. She's moved, everybody's moved on, but I just find that story really funny that my dad wasn't even intending to do it. He just wanted to offer my sister moral support, and then next thing you know, when he auditions, he actually does get a major part at that. That just shows my dad is a very talented man. But he has a regular job, that's why he never pursued acting, beyond just community stuff. Although he did do a little bit. He did reenactments of America's Most Wanted. They'll reenact the things that the criminals do, and he's usually cast as the bad guy. He's done some other commercials. He did one of those Geico commercials. He's been extras, he was an extra on West Wing one time. So he's done a little bit of stuff beyond community stuff too, actually. Which makes me very proud. And unlike him, though, I am a little bit more chicken about the acting thing. I did do a little bit of acting, but it just did not progress. Even right before I auditioned for stuff at my high school, I would freak out and start crying because I got so nervous, and the anticipation was just killing me, so that ruined that, because I would be crying right before, even though I had calmed down by then, it would just ruin my auditions, and there was one time I was a role, and that was in middle school. It was the Ugly Duckling Princess, and it was basically the whole Ugly Duckling storyline, but with people instead, not ducks, and I was the mother of the Ugly Duckling. But I would never be able to, I don't think, because I get so scared and my auditions are, I'm so almost too self-aware to the point of, I'm very cautious, so I don't think I would ever have the potential to get really good, juicy parts, because I would be too afraid to put in the effort needed so that you can show off your skills and show that you are capable of playing a really good role. Not that the role was bad that I did in middle school, it was just kind of boring. And she was kind of annoying. If I was an outsider not playing the part myself, I would find her incredibly annoying and just roll my eyes at the character. But anyway. So, back to the tag. I can say this is the best book. I got this last year. And every time I get those, when I ask for these, I get them, I'm very happy because I love the way they look and everything, and they're just really, really cool. Okay, so next question. What book gives you all the Christmas feels? Okay, this is a cop-out, but this is the only book that is a Christmas book that I've actually finished. Because I did read Miracle on 34th Street, the book. I tried to, and that was years ago when I was a teenager, my early teens, and I couldn't finish it because I felt rushed, and I felt the pressure to finish it, and it just, I couldn't do it. So the only Christmas book the one that's actually a Christmas book that I finished was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, of course. I've seen, like everybody else, I've seen multiple versions of it. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Last night I just watched the 1999 one starring Sir Patrick Stewart. That one, and I've seen A Christmas Carol musical starring Kelsey Grammer as Scrooge, and the guy from Rent, whose name I can never remember his name. I feel bad. The guy from Rent played the Christmas Present. I've seen a little bit of the black and white version in passing. I've seen a stage show of it. Where actually my dad, this was another time where my dad got a role. He was the Ghost of Christmas Present, so he got to wear the really nice green coat, which is awesome. I've seen that one. I've seen, what else have I seen? I'm trying to think, what are some other ones I'm familiar with? I think those are the ones I know. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I think those are the only ones. Well, I decided to finally, a couple years ago, I decided to finally read the book. Unfortunately, my copy of the book, it's again another book like this one. It has a whole collection of, of some of Dickens' stories, not all of them. A lot of his more shorter novel, I think it's his shorter novels, not his longer ones. Like Oliver Twist is in that one. I want to say David Copperfield might be in that one. I don't know, but we're going out of town for Christmas this year, but I can't. But because it's so heavy and so big, I can't really bring it with me, sadly. Oh, I was thinking about. I haven't actually seen this one, but I've heard the song that Kate Winslet sings in this one. Yes, Kate Winslet can sing. And that is this one that was, I've seen the Disney animated one. That's right. That was the other one I saw. But there was another animated one. It wasn't Disney. That was made years ago. And Kate Winslet performs a song in that one. Like I said, it's the animated one. And she does the theme, I'm guessing it's like the theme song or something, called What If. It's basically her singing about, what if I had never let you go, would you be the same person that I used to know before you got all obsessed with money and stuff. It's a pretty song, and she's a good singer, but of course, as I said in my Sound of Music discussion video, where I gushed about Sound of Music, I am not a good judge for singers. I mean, I know what I like, and what I think sounds good, but I can't sing, so I don't know all that. I mean, I did do chorus in high school for a year, but I still do not know what's necessary. I'm not a good judge for what is like good singing or not. So I decided to read it one day. I finally decided to read it a couple years ago, and I read it. I actually brought it with me when we go down to South Carolina, but I'm not going to do it this time because, like I said, it's a heavy book, and there are other books I want to bring with me that I want to read this month. Okay, so that was number 3. Okay, question number 4. Okay, like I said, I kind of already answered this question. And that is, what book do you plan on reading to give you the Christmas feels? And if it wasn't so big and it wasn't in a bind-up, if it was in a smaller book, I would bring it with me. Now, if I had there is a book that just came out, I believe. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, that reminds me of another version of Christmas Carol that I saw that was about a woman Scrooge, a female character Scrooge, who, she's like a newswoman or something. I've seen bits of that one. A Carol's Christmas. That's what it's called. I've seen a little bit of that one. And then I've seen bits and pieces of the movie Scrooged, starring Bill Murray. And I want to see The Man Who Invented Christmas, which is about the writing of the story and how Charles Dickens came up with it and everything. Starring Dan Stevens as Dickens and Christopher Plummer as Scrooge. he like from what I got from the preview, like while he's creating the while he's thinking about the story, he conjures up an image of the characters, and or at least an image of Scrooge, which I think is a really cool concept. And I wish that would happen in real life, because there are times when I can use some inspiration, and there are times when I would love my characters to be real, so they would motivate me to keep writing, because I get distracted way too easily. But unfortunately, stuff like that doesn't happen in real life, so. Okay, let me get back to answering the questions. Okay, but if we were staying here, I would probably read A Christmas Carol. That would probably, and if I didn't want to bring a handful of books with me to South Carolina or Virginia, where we're going afterwards, I would bring A Christmas Carol. But it's, like I said, it's big, and actually, I didn't finish telling you that there's a book that's coming out that is about this woman who she experiences the meanings of the three spirits, but she does not change. So this woman ends up becoming one of the spirit of Christmas past, and it becomes like her job. She has to help people change their ways and show them their past and stuff. And I'm guessing she learns from that experience, and then she ends up changing by the end of the book. But yeah, I do want to read that one. So I would read A Christmas Carol if I could bring it. If it was in a smaller book format. Excuse me. Sorry about that. At least it wasn't a messy, gross one. Okay. Question number 5. What book have you read that you want to throw out along with the tree? I couldn't come up with an answer for this one, because there's no book that I've ever wanted to throw out. I mean, I've read like maybe a few books that I've hated, but I don't really hate books, not to the point of where I want to throw them out. Like if I had read 50 Shades of Grey, I would probably throw that one out. If I still had The Claimant of Sleeping Beauty and I can't remember what the second one is called. Those I would throw out. If you know anything about those, then you'll know that there's a pattern here. With the books I would throw out. So, but I don't have those books. I never read 50 Shades of Grey, so I don't have any books that I would throw out. But if I did, those would be the ones. Okay. What book do you plan on leaving for someone under the tree? So, when they came for Thanksgiving, my cousin Will had asked to borrow my copy of It by Stephen King. He's a 15-year-old boy, by the way. And I was still kind of in the middle of reading the book. And I also I'm a little reluctant to giving away some of my books. I mean, if it's a book that I've moved on, I still love it, but I've moved on from, then I have a little bit of an easier time giving them away. Like I gave my other cousin, my copy of Jane Eyre because I wanted to read it, and I already read it twice. So I was okay with giving her that one. Besides, I would probably at some point buy my own copy anyway of that one. So I remembering that he had asked about the book on Thanksgiving, I decided to buy him a copy of the book. I believe it's a 2016 edition. It's the one with the white glossy cover, and you just have the smile on it that looks like Ronald McDonald's smile, except for more scary looking. So I got him that one. It's the trade. I think it's a trade paperback edition, so the print is a little bit bigger and the cover is nicer. Although last night I just remembered something on Christmas Day when he opens it, I'm gonna have to pull him aside and be like, okay, dude, there is a scene in the climax of the book that I'm not going to tell you specifically what happens in the scene, but it's terribly inappropriate. I know you're a very mature young man, So, but I just want to warn you ahead of time. If you guys have read the book, I'm sure you know what inappropriate scene I'm talking about. It's just that, I mean, I would still give the book 4 or 5 stars because I love the book and I think I love Stephen King's writing style and everything. And I agree, he's probably not the best at endings. Although I feel like I haven't read enough of his books to really make that call. So I'm just taking people's words for it. And even I think he said himself, or like one of the actors in the commentary talked about how he said this, that endings are kind of hard because, like, especially for horror novelists, because you have to reveal the monster at the end, and it kind of, and if it's a physical monster, not like a person monster, it's very hard to make it still scary because then it just ruins it. It can potentially ruin it if you don't do it well. Or something along those lines. Like, he admits that the ending of it is not that great. But I don't know if he feels that way about that one inappropriate scene, or if he's talking about the reveal of the monster. So, yep, so I'm gonna have to pull my cousin aside and warn him about that ahead of time. But, I mean, I figure he is surprisingly a very mature young man for his age, and he knows what's wrong and what's right. Like, his mom was telling us how there are a group of friends that he used to have that were doing a lot of bad stuff, like smoking, smoking weed or pot or something, I don't remember. And that he was like, I don't want to be friends with these kids anymore because of what they're doing, So he's personally a very mature young man, and I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, so I would give him the book It by Stephen King. Okay, so number 7 is create and alternating red and green spines. I did this ahead of time. I just realized this is a really tough stack. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Oh, no, don't. Okay. I didn't think this through. I just was all excited because the more the merrier. Let's just do this. See? My alternating stack. Okay, so let me put these down first before I move the camera back. Okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell you which ones. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is The Magician's Land by Lev Grossman. So I saw this at my used bookstore for like $4 or $5. I have not read the first 2 books, and I do not have the first 2 books in my possession. So because I probably wouldn't ever be able to find this anywhere else. Oh, this would be good for that book, the Scavenger Hunt one, because one of the questions is about finding a key, and this one has a key on the spine. So if I ever did that tag again, sorry about that. So, so I ended up, because I doubted I would find it anywhere else that cheap, so I bought it, and I'll just, wait and buy the other books. This is The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. This is a book that Reagan from Peruse Projects was constantly talking about. So I saw it there, and I decided to go get it. Because, again, this was bought at the used bookstore for like $4. So I had to get it. Okay, so then we have Air Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book. This is the last book in the series that I've read so far. I really like this one. This is I think this is a sequel in a duology. It was one of my grandfather's books. Sadly, he passed away, and since I love to read, and I know that he was kind of a reader too, so I just asked my grandma, my Lola, if I could have some of his books. So this is his book, War and Remembrance. Like I said, I think it's a sequel. And then this book was another purchase at the used bookstore for like $2 to $3. I've been kind of interested in the whole 70 books that are set in 1700, the Civil War, and the American Revolution. So I decided to go and buy this. As you can see, I already started it, but I haven't continued it. I should bring this one with me to Virginia and South Carolina. This is by Robert Hicks. And this is more about the Civil War and this woman who marries this man who was a famous Civil War soldier. And he was and I also got another one called The Traitor's Wife about the American Revolution, and it's about Benedict Arnold and the woman who kind of helped him betray America, his wife. Something like that. This is War of the Roses Bloodline. It's about the famous War of the Roses. I saw this again, another used bookstore purchase. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Con Glodden. I don't know how to say his last name. Ever since like George R. R. Martin talked about how he was inspired by the War of the Roses, I saw this book and I was like, okay, I gotta read this book. And it looks like it's written in a way that simplifies the whole War of the Roses story, that whole problem. And then the last book I have here. This because it's on my dang it. Well, at least I'm done. At least I did it. Is The Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. I have not continued. This is a really good drawing of them. On here if you can't. Ron, Hermione, and Ginny. This is a really good drawing of them. So I've been rereading the books. I just finished Goblet of Fire. I need to read Order of the Phoenix. So anyway, but if this is the 6th book in this series, I need to read that one. Okay, so those are my alternating green and red spines that have toppled over now. Okay, so there is one more question, but I'm not going to do that because I don't do that, and that is, it goes, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing for all to hear, quoting Elf, if you guys don't remember, or if you've never seen that movie. And that's basically who you're gonna tag. I don't tag people because when I first tried to tag people, I don't know if the channel I tagged ever saw my video anyway, and I feel like I'm not a big enough I don't know if I'm a big enough channel that people would know. Although I do have a handful of viewers, which I appreciate. I'm very happy. I have a lot of people subscribe to me. So if any of you who are subscribed to me want to do this tag, then go for it. It's a fun tag. And when you get to the last question, the alternating red and green spines, don't do a lot of books. Like, only do a handful, only do a few books, because, don't get overexcited and do a bunch of, like 10 books or something, or even 5 books for that matter. So, that was my Under the Tree, Books Under the Tree tag. Like I said, if you are interested, it's a fun tag. And please do it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are passing by and want to subscribe to me, if you're passing by and watching my video, please subscribe to me if you liked my video. Alright, bye.